The Rolling Stones' first big hit in the United States was "I Can't Get No Satisfaction," and is still considered by many the greatest song they ever recorded. It made the charts in 1965. I was in my fourth year at Stanford University, on the supposed fast track to success and happiness. I'd been born into an upper-middle-class family. I lived in the beautiful and prestigious San Francisco Bay Area, and I never gave more than a moment's thought to the concerns about money and economic status that the previous generation had worried about during the post-World War II era. So you may be wondering why the lyrics of that classic Stones song would resonate so deeply with me and my generation. The reason is that, in the 60s, there was more going on than just the restless angst of a privileged generation. Younger Americans were among the first to deeply question the decisions coming out of Washington and the aggressive international path our country had taken. The anguish and actions of college students and other young people around the country polarized the nation. Peace activists, including me, rallied against the Vietnam War, while returning soldiers, with mangled bodies and war-weary eyes, were honored in parades and then forgotten. Angry and often violent polarization was reflected on streets and campuses, in our art, and in our music. And that man comes on the radio. He's telling me more and more about some useless information supposed to fire my imagination. The idea of the American dream, so fulfilling to my parents and grandparents, no longer nourished the hearts and minds of many in my generation. I tried, and I tried, and I tried, but I got no satisfaction. Not as a peace activist, or a student, or at my job. I got a little satisfaction in love, but then we broke up. A little satisfaction from sex, but it didn't last very long. A year before Satisfaction came on my radio, I'd begun a meditation practice with Suzuki Roshi at the San Francisco Zen Center. For a while, my heart was calm and peaceful, but when the dissatisfaction returned, it seemed deeper and more impenetrable than ever. Meditation doesn't save us from life's trials and tragedies. In fact, Zen meditation allows us to enter completely both the joy and darkness that make up this great life. Deep healing often begins in darkness, in times when we feel deep dissatisfaction and little or no vitality. The place of our deepest fears can be rich soil when it is entered into fully. As our eyes adjust to the dark, clear seeing becomes possible. Standing firm in the darkness without withdrawing or lashing out, we discover what motivates us in healthy, wholesome ways, and what drives us to exhaustion and depression. We see for ourselves how fear-based thinking and emotional reactivity influence us individually and collectively. Fear is used by us and against us, and recognizing this truth is the first step toward healing. This audiobook offers an approach to life that opens us up to a new way of thinking and being in the world. The approach is not new, but too often confusing language, unfamiliar metaphors, and practices that confound and bewilder obscure it. This audiobook is written in the style of an owner's manual, a guide to being human, and begins by focusing on the four most troublesome areas that most of us are intimately familiar with: feelings of unworthiness, and issues surrounding sex, money, and failure. These are the outermost layers of the onion, and they must be penetrated with clear seeing, generosity, and openness. Year after year, the monkey's face wears a monkey's mask. Basho, 17th century. Basho's poem points to the difficulty of penetrating the onion by seeing through our fear-based thinking. But as I stayed with my meditation practice, I began to see through the layers to realize a direct correlation between the fear-based dramas playing out in my mind and my can't get no satisfaction life. Maybe you can, too.